Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name is Andy.
And my name is Becky.
And Becky, it is too flipping hot.
It's too hot. Andy's brain is fried.
I am not impressed. I'm not happy.
It's September. So
it's September. It was 26 degrees in my bathroom last night. When I say last night, I mean like 3:30 in the morning.
Because Andy was up at a ridiculous time again.
There's just not... There's no right for it to be that hot.
It is warm. Yeah, it's warm. It's warm.
It's warm.
I quite like the heat, but it's just not very nice heat. That's the problem. Yeah. Anyway, Andy, we always seem to talk about the weather in these
welcome to the very English podcast.
What have we got coming up?
Well, we've got gaming news.
Yep.
But I think the whole gaming universe is taken over by Starfield.
Okay.
At the moment, and this podcast will be no different. So we're going to be talking a lot about Starfield.
Amazing.
Before we do that, we have London's Royal Raven in gaming news. Now, gaming news.
Gaming news. There's been quite a lot of gaming news since we were last here. So
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So we'll get through it, and I'm going to croak my way through it again because still croaking. Our first piece of gaming news this week is the London's Royal Ravens, London's only Call of Duty esports franchise, is moving to the US. The move means that there will be no UK or European sides competing in the 2024 Call of Duty League. Rebranding as the Carolina Royal Ravens, they will now be based in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Call of Duty League has 12 teams, and its presence in the UK was seen as a way of growing esports and competing with other big titles out there. But it will now only consist of North American franchise teams, and going forward, and the move isn't great news for UK esports scene.
No, it's not.
No. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so it seemed they were making it a decision because that seems to be the way that it's going. But yeah, and I don't know whether it's to do with like esports stuff or I'm not really sure.
I mean,
yeah,
I could be a cynic here, and I could say something about how it's all about money.
Yeah,
and they could probably make more money
in the US
based in America compared to England, whereas esports is a thing here.
Yeah.
I believe in our college is well into esports. They've got courses, they have tournaments there. It is a thing.
Yeah.
So therefore, to hear that a big name is pulling out of the UK scene, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. I know, like a lot of the fans were like sad because, like, UK fans, they chose to support the UK team, and then they were now sad. Yeah, exactly. So that they haven't got anyone to support. They were kind of saying, well, we might continue to support them because they used to be in London, but you sort of feel,
and the players as well.
Yeah.
The players who were involved in this. I would like to think they have an option of maybe going
relocating. Yeah.
Again, it could be because it's hot. I could be being a bit cynical. But who knows?
Yeah.
And we need to also remember that, especially for those who aren't into esports, who don't do esports, actually it is a lot of flipping hard work at times.
Yeah.
And it is comparable to other kind of sports in the reflex time needed. It
would be like your football team or whatever team you support or whatever moving from one country to another.
It's like a league.
Yeah.
Picking up and going.
Yeah. So it's like the Premier League moving from here to the US, for example, which is bonkers.
Let's hope that never happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reality of it. So, yeah. It's very interesting, and I think they are hoping that somebody else will sort of pick up the mantle. So we'll see. Yeah, it's interesting.
There's empty marketplace now, isn't it?
Yeah. Our second piece of gaming news is going to be the whole podcast this week. Starfield.
We need to embrace it.
Yeah. The long-awaited game Starfield has been released. The game was released on Wednesday, with people that bought the premium version of the game being able to play it 5 days earlier. The game was released at the same time worldwide, which means that no one was able to play it before anyone else. It consists of more than 1,000 planets that players can travel to as part of a space exploration group trying to uncover the story of a mysterious artifact. The game will also allow people to customize their ships, weapons in an immeasurable number of ways and experience hundreds of different stories, missions, and side quests.
So we are going to talk about this a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
After gaming news.
Yeah.
We're going to take the middle section and game of the week and lump it all in as one because, well, if we're going to
talk about
it as like a middle section and it's be the game of the week, it'd be a bit weird if we didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just skip right over.
But it's massive. There's a lot of players playing, and it's also big news for Xbox as well.
I've got some thoughts, so we'll carry them over to the Nintendo. So our last piece of gaming news, which I put in for Andy, because he went to me, here's a piece of gaming news, and then I was like, it's all rumours and conjecture.
Try to help a friend out.
Our last piece of gaming news is the Nintendo Switch 2. Rumours are flying around about the Nintendo Switch 2, with the console set to be released next year. The launch date, according to analysts, could be earlier than we expect. Nintendo itself has confirmed that a Nintendo Direct is being prepared, which could announce the new Switch console between the 11th and the 15th of September. The analysts believe that this is Nintendo preparing for a spring release rather than the previously estimated autumn release. It has also been hinted that select members of the gaming press were given a sneak peek at the console last month during Gamescom 2023 roadshow in Germany. Not much is known about the hardware that it will involve, but the speculation is the console will be backwards compatible.
Which is good news.
Yep. So this is a piece of news that I put in because you were like, this is coming, it's coming, and you're very excited about it.
Yes.
Because he loves a Switch.
Yes.
So the price point wise, that most people are estimating it's going to be about around the same price as the OLED Switches. Okay. So about £360. All right. When it was that was when the OLED was first released, which is a market number cheaper than its competitors.
Yes. Well, it's cheaper than the PS5 and the Xbox X.
Yeah. And I will say that they're looking to try and compete. So that's what they're now trying to aim towards competing with those kind of guys. Yes. So they're going to improve, so the thoughts are, the conjecture is, the speculation is that they're going to improve the way that their graphics works so that they can try and have some of these bigger games where they have the graphics that look really good, that will compete with PlayStation and Xbox. And it sounds like it's going to be a really big step for Nintendo.
I believe the word shared observation has been that it's comparable to the PS5 graphic-wise.
Yes.
Which, for a Nintendo console, I mean, admittedly the PS5 is a couple of years old now, but Nintendo have always been about doing their own thing in their own time. Yeah. There's also something about there being a camera attached to it as well, which could be Nintendo doing its slightly quirky thing for sake of getting gamers to engage with games in a slightly different way. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
It'll be really,
that's true.
It'll be really interesting because the Switch is still the best-selling console. So PlayStation and Xbox don't really compete with the Switch. The Switch is they sort of compete. Xbox and PlayStation compete with each other. The Switch is like its own thing. It's a different thing, and it's like they're trying to get on the same track. And I feel like the Switch and Nintendo in general have cornered the family game player market, and PlayStation and Xbox are trying to aim more at gamers. Yeah. And so it'd be interesting to see if Nintendo try and compete with the guys that are aiming at gamers. And actually, if they do that, they can have a very large chunk of the market. So, so last year, the Switch outsold the Xbox and the PlayStation. But Xbox and Sony and Microsoft don't compare their numbers to the Switch because they're like, oh, we're not really competing with them. So,
which is kind of true.
Yeah.
In that it's different marketplaces.
Yeah.
Different games.
Yeah.
You don't get Switch Sports on the PS5.
No. You just I just feel like
games like that don't.
Yeah. They've just got a beautiful corner of the market that is pretty much all just Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, imagine Zelda.
Yeah. It's going to be a really interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think we'll probably know more next week, because next week is that's the estimated date for their announcement is next week.
Actually, on that note, latest rumor is that some people have seen the Switch 2 running, I think it was Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
On the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And they were commenting on the performance increase.
Yeah.
But there's no mention from Nintendo about them doing a remastered version.
Yeah.
They probably will.
Which is what Andy's thinking. It's like, that must mean it's backwards compatible, right?
It must be backwards compatible. I mean, if they are releasing top games, well, between now and Christmas and launching Switch 2 start of next year, if it's not backwards compatible, they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot, because they're going to have loads of families out there going, well, we've got a Switch, it works, we've got loads of games for it.
Yeah.
Why do we need to upgrade?
Switch 2? Yeah. Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm excited. And I don't get really very excited about games, but I love my Switch.
Yeah.
And I am excited. That's my kind of games. So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. Yeah.
Excellent. We'll see if Becky ends up getting a Switch 2.
Yeah. Ooh. And that's
and
the
it's
end
the
of
end of before me.
Yeah.
And that's the end of gaming news.
That's the end of gaming news.
Right.
Yeah.
Starfield.
It's going to spend the whole podcast talking about it.
It's big.
It's big. It's been highly anticipated.
Beautiful.
It's great. Perfect.
It's
big and beautiful.
Anticipated since 2018.
Wow.
Something like that.
I can't believe they've been making it for that long.
And as far as kind of worlds from the makers of Starfield go, it's like their first new world, their first new IP for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
From the makers of Skyrim. Skyrim. It's one of those games you can play on everywhere.
Yeah.
On everywhere, on everything.
Yeah.
Including, it turns out, on Amazon Alexa.
Oh.
So you could say, Alexa, play Skyrim.
And now all of you who have an Alexa in the room that are listening to this, Skyrim is playing on your Alexa.
Yes. So, but this is about Starfield.
Okay.
Massive, what's described as an action role-playing game.
Yeah.
For those who aren't sure what that means, basically it takes a role-playing game where you can adjust your character and big, well-detailed world.
Yeah.
You can just kind of what your character looks like, your skills.
We saw about in the news about weapon customization and the hundreds of variations and stuff. Yeah, it looks big.
So, talk about customization.
Yeah.
You can customize your ship.
Yeah.
And the internet has examples of how people have customized their ship to make it look like they are piloting the Millennium Falcon. Star Wars.
People have got a lot of time on their hands. That seems like a lot of effort.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly, but personally, I did come into work on Wednesday, on its official release day, feeling a little bit jealous that I was coming into work. I kind of wanted to stay at home.
Should have taken a day off and just played a game.
I may have mentioned that to someone.
Andy should have taken
it. About 10 past 9 that morning.
Okay.
But yeah, massive game. And it's also got the action element incorporated in on that as well. So by that I mean shooting, lasers, space can be a bit of a scary place.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So action RPG.
Yeah. So it's not the kind of game that I probably am ever going to play.
Okay.
Just put it in that direction. I was throwing that out there.
Mm.
However, when I was doing the news research yesterday, fell into a hole of reading news articles about it because I was like, it's been a big bit of the news this week. It's been released, and there's a lot of like comments around it. I fell into a hole, started reading many news articles about it, and the general consensus was the story is good, but it can be boring in places.
Okay.
And I'll tell you,
possibly.
Yeah, I'll say why they said it's boring before I say. So, what they say is the open world element to it. So not the storyline. The storyline's different. The open world element to it. You can go to planets, and it is very boring. As in, you just wander around and you're not really sure what you're doing. And the question is, we've got like most of these kind of big games now are going open world with things. So we're looking at Zelda. We're looking at Starfield, even to some extent, which I was playing the other day, Mario. That was going. There's a bit of like the more recent Mario game. There's a bit of like
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit of like sort of. It's not fully open world, but it is. You get the feeling that there is a bit of that sort of element to it.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yes.
Lego. We always playing Lego Star Wars. The same thing. These open world games is very much leaning towards everything's got. So they've got a storyline, and then they've also got this open world element to it. The point of it is, how big is too big for these open world games? Does it get to the point where you're like, this is too much
Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Yeah.
As a potential answer, in that you've got to throw lots of hours in order to complete that game. Not 100% it, but just complete the story.
Yeah.
I think...
Yeah.
Starfield is something like 17 to 18 hours to complete the story.
Yeah.
Everything else, I think it's like 170, 180 hours or something.
So you could literally spend 180 hours just flying from planet to planet, so finding a new planet.
I think that's where exploration comes in.
Yeah.
And just having those and just chilling out whilst exploring strange new worlds.
Do we think they are getting, so the question, I would throw this out there to people that are watching the podcast or who listen to podcasts. Are we getting to the point now where we want to go back to games that are just story-led, or do we like the open world nature of most new games now, or is it something we're like, it's too much now?
I wonder if we're starting to see it kind of snap backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
In that the Assassin's Creed Valhalla game, I'm just desperately trying to...
Quickly Google. Doing a quick Google.
How long it takes to complete that. Valhalla. Valhalla. To beat.
Talk amongst yourselves while Andy is...
Time to beat.
Here we go.
The game can be completed in just over 91 hours.
That's quite a lot.
On average, gamers can expect 59 hours and 39 minutes of playtime to finish the main story.
59 hours to complete the main story? Wow.
On average.
Okay.
And that's taken into account speedrunners who deliberately try and compete against each other to finish the game as fast as possible.
Yep.
44 and a half hours.
Okay.
So I wonder, as a result of those sorts of numbers, the main storyline is coming down.
Yeah.
But the option to explore further is still an option.
It's an interesting one. Yeah. I mean, it's a thought, isn't it? Like, at what point do you say, I don't want to play an open world game? Like, I find open world games very overwhelming. I just like games with stories because I like stories.
You like being guided.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. Yeah. I mean, I feel like lots of people are enjoying playing it. So, the other thing we have to talk about in terms of the game is the rating.
So, It is a mature game.
It is a mature game.
It's not for children.
Yeah.
It's not marketed for children. But on the other hand, it's not your classic. So I think back in the 90s.
Yeah.
18 rated games probably had a reputation for being 18 rated because they went deliberately over the top and they deliberately aimed for that rating. And you can see that in games like Mortal Kombat, where they went for the violence, they went for blood kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can argue Grand Theft Auto has at least gone through that to some extent as well, in that they throw in swear words for the sake of swearing.
Yeah.
Starfield is not like that. So 18 rated.
Yeah.
I've got about an hour and a bit through it so far. I've not seen anything that I would consider 18 rated yet. Not to say that there isn't going to be missions, that there isn't going to be planets, that there isn't going to be crew members that I will enlist further down the line, that I do not want my 10-year-old to be within hearing distance of.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we were just reading about why it's been rated 18.
So yeah, I guess if you have kids, if you have kids around, it might be worthwhile looking into it, maybe working out when's a good time to play it, when isn't a good time to play it.
Yep.
And just to be wise over the sections that you play around, smaller it is.
Yeah.
Compared to times that you just go, you know what? Just gonna close the door. Gonna put the headphones on.
Yeah.
Gonna wait till they're out or asleep or whatever.
Yeah. Yes, just being cautious.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is some good news from this game.
Yeah.
Now, just gonna find my notes for this.
We try and always focus on at least some good, because we have a good news podcast. We want to try and focus on the good stuff. And this, we really liked this part of the story as well.
So, and this is very much an example of how hype and excitement for a video game can be good and can be a helpful thing. So someone has posted on Reddit the following post. While I was as drunk as usual on July the 23rd, I realised that I'd be too drunk or too deep into withdrawals to enjoy Starfield if I didn't stop drinking a litre of gin every day. I know that a video game is a dumb reason to get sober, but making the decision to get sober for Starfield is what snapped me out of my cycle and helped me see all of the more important reasons I needed to change, of which there are plenty. Just now I was getting my PC, TV and speakers all dialed in, stacks ready, coffee made, and realised that I'm about to be able to play Starfield in the exact way I hoped I'd be able to when I made the decision to get sober 5.5 weeks ago. I'm alert, energetic, not stressed, and I'm hopeful for the future for the first time in over 5 years. Can't wait to travel into Starfield and talk about it with you all.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a heavy post, but it is so lovely. We just loved the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? If a video game is a reason for someone to get sober, you know what? A video game is a reason for someone to get sober. It's not a dumb reason at all.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like that video game has been a reason for that person to make some very positive life choices. Yeah. And fantastic.
Yeah. And it is important to stress that the power of video games as well. Like, this is like... they're not saying, whoever it is not saying that is the whole reason to get sober, but it was just the trigger was to try and do that, and that is itself, if that is the good that gaming does, that's really good.
In fact he does say, because of this I've seen other reasons why. It's fantastic.
And we love a positive gaming podcast thing. We are a positive gaming podcast. We love positive gaming news,
and that's what we are.
Yeah. So, Andy's game of the week.
We know what it is.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about Starfield. You can now see, if you're watching the podcast, you can now see the beautiful graphics behind us.
Yeah, so this is the trailer, so please don't hate us for any spoilers.
A spoiler alert.
Yeah, I guess.
So Andy,
spoiler alert for the trailer.
So after you had considered taking a day off and you didn't, did you get to play it?
Got to play a bit that evening. Got to play it a bit yesterday morning.
Yep. So how far? You're not that far in, but
I'm not that far in. I mean, ideally, I'm going to blame the weather for this. Ideally, I would have played it a bit overnight. But it's far too hot and I'm far too tired.
Okay. Reviews
I've enjoyed it, I'm quite ADHD-ish when it comes to video games.
Okay.
In that, if I start playing a game and if I don't enjoy it, my patience level will just disappear.
Yeah.
And I'll lose any sort of want to play it, and I will just quit and go on to next.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get my attention, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't know what it says about me. Make up your own minds. But I'll just move on and play something I do want to play.
Okay.
So just over an hour-ish, maybe an hour 15-ish, I think, through it. Works fine on cloud. So if you've got an Xbox One, so I should say that the game is exclusive to Xbox Game Pass, but you can also get it on PC as well.
Yeah.
So it's been available on via the Steam store. In fact, the numbers for people playing on Steam before the official release date were massive.
Yeah.
So I played it on my Xbox One via the cloud.
Yeah.
So streamed the game. It played fine.
Nice.
There are a few moments when it
nice to have a release game that hasn't got bugs. So
I've played on my PC.
Okay.
So they've come out and said that, if the game is optimized for PC, you might just need to get a better PC.
Okay.
Which is a little bit heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because my PC, it's a little old.
Okay.
But it's not exactly old.
Yeah.
So my PC is struggling a little bit at points.
Okay.
Maybe because of the time I've got to play it, maybe I need to load up and leave it for a while, so it can build the shaders properly. Shaders is basically when the game does all its maths to work out the graphics and things like that.
Yeah.
We've seen it cause a few issues in Last of Us on the PC. Not the same sort of issues on here, but yeah, it could be an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fun. It reminded me a little bit of, particularly when I was playing it on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Just a game to relax with.
Yeah.
We talked a while back about slow games. So games that purposely make you slow down and take your time.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of that. There's obviously some action involved as well, so it's not all walking around planets. But yeah, nice game.
Nice.
Fun game. Lots of customizations. I've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
I imagine I'll be playing about this. I'll be talking about this. I'm playing this again in the future. I reserve the right to change my mind about absolutely anything I've said. But first impressions, it's a good and worthwhile checking out, especially if you have Game Pass, because it comes with it.
Yeah. And if you don't have Game Pass, it looks like it's about £46-ish. £46 on the PC, about 60 on the
there are websites that kind of sell the voucher codes.
Okay.
So places like CD Keys, and there's a few other websites like that basically they buy lots of kind of codes for games on bulk.
Okay.
And so they could sell them on a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Works fine.
Okay.
So
you could get it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that is. I mean, we've talked a lot about Starfield this week,
we've
and we are
gone
half an hour.
We might even hit up 30 minutes. For
this
this one.
Very unusual. That's all we've got time for this week.
Well done.
You're still well done with us. Talking a lot about Starfield. And so
It's beautiful.
Andy really likes it. I'm sure we'll come up later on. I'm sure in the next few weeks, Andy will on and off talking about it. That is all we've got time for.
I'm going to stop trying to put Becky off.
Yeah, he is pretty rough. You can find us on all our lovely social medias on Facebook at YMCA, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at YMCA Exeter, and at YMCA Exeter Games. We will see you next week.
See you then.